frick is she?
She's coming. And we are live.
We are live. It is Tuesday, guys. Welcome to Unfiltered Marriage. Of course, Katie is back.
Hi.
She's actually now like a resident.
Yeah, Katie's like a third mic.
There are
now
some
third
standards now I'm
Yeah.
going to have to uphold.
She's now third mic.
I was given homework and everything.
Yes, and of course, my amazing husband. We do have a special guest, but you'll see in a little while.
Yes. She popped in on Superugly just for a second.
I know she did.
Dropped off some cannolis.
I was the first going to say don't do that, but then I
Yeah.
was like, go ahead and go show them some love.
Yeah.
But it was nice because she's been missed.
Yeah.
She's been missed. She's been like my, she was my dynamic duo. Now I have a dynamic trio. I mean, hopefully. She may not come all the time, though.
No, but she's willing to come when asked. You know, if she's not
She'll do what
busy,
she's
she'll
told.
be here. Yeah.
You know,
So
she'll
then just
do-
every
We're
Tuesday. let
we're
her
not
know.
hardlined in anymore, and I got to tell you, it says excellent connection. It's better than when we were hardlined in.
Really?
Yeah, which is really fucking weird. Like now we're just using Wi-Fi, but it's fucking phenomenal.
I love that. I love that it is phenomenal. So we have a couple things that we need to talk about tonight, and I wanted to wait so that we weren't kind of like interrupted in the process with her coming in.
Yeah.
But her 5 minutes, I guess, is like 15.
Do you want me to go get her?
No, that's
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to get started because she's a pain in the butt. So I recently, I mean, everybody's going crazy about this whole coronavirus. I recently had gotten a notification because I follow like a news thing. And it says that in order to have this vaccine as fast as we need, that they would need to kill 500,000 sharks for what they carry in their body. It's a special oil that they're using, and they'll be able to, get billions of doses from 500,000 sharks.
And I say fuck the sharks. No, fuck the sharks. Who cares?
But it's a vaccine that, is it even tested enough that it's actually effective?
Nope.
Or necessary?
Well, necessary.
They're
I would
saying
think
that
necessary.
it's necessary for this.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Just because you're late,
Here.
you're over there. Straddle the chair, Madalena. You know how to do that.
You're on the cat mic. You're on the cat mic.
Look at this cat.
don't
mic.
pull that chair
You just
out.
sit forward and
Yes.
straddle it, girl. Yeah, you got it. You know how to do that.
You know how to straddle. I'm sure, man.
Oh my God! All you missed is I started stating that coronavirus vaccine is requiring to kill 500,000 sharks.
Well, one type of the vaccine would.
One time,
Yeah.
yes. Now, this is something, a natural oil they find in their liver. And so my whole thing is, I understand that people are sick and they have died and you want to come with the vaccine. We seem to have somewhat a little control over what's going on. Don't you think that's kind of horrible to kill that many sharks?
But, whatever.
I'm sorry. I love my sharks. Shark Week is my jam.
And you know what?
Like,
Less sharks, more fish for us.
I mean,
That's
is
what
it
he-
I mean, what are sharks really doing for us other than killing us?
But are they? Oh, but come on. The numbers on deaths by sharks per year. There are
I'm
more
the-
car
hey.
accident deaths than there are by
I'm
sharks.
just saying, they're still killing us. It's all I'm
Well, so
saying.
are people. So
Yeah, and trust me, there's a lot of people I'd like to get rid of as well.
Now,
So feed
and
them
if
to the
it's
sharks.
mandatory, my children
Yeah.
attend school.
You think they're gonna make it mandatory?
I think they're going to try to make it a mandatory add to
Yeah.
the list of things that kids have to get. They were fighting to try to get the flu shot on there.
See, I don't think they're going to because this thing was very politically based, this whole corona thing, as we all can kind of, I think, come to the conclusion that it was a very politically motivated thing. Like, there's no way that in 2017 we'd be shutting down the country for this type of situation.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll become a mandated thing because once this presidential debate race whole thing's over, like I think we're going to finally just be done with the corona thing also.
It'll just die down
Yeah.
slowly and just
With, I
kind of
guess,
drift
everything.
away.
I think they
Yeah.
did drag it out. They embellished a lot to try to scare us. I
Yeah.
mean, to keep us in. It's more a lot about control. But when I read something like this, I feel like that's a little bit excessive. It's not like you're telling me, all right, so look, 50,000, 500,000 sharks.
Well, but even so, science is so good. They make synthetic everything these days.
Right.
So get the sample that you need, and synthesize it. What's the problem?
Right. That's and this is a British company, pharmaceutical company called GlaxSmithKline. GlaxSmithKline is one word, but they manufacture the flu vaccine.
Yeah.
So that has in it the shark squalene is what it's called, and they're saying that this will help get rid of the vaccinate you from the coronavirus.
But I mean, there's not even enough time to really show and go through all the processes of like trials and making sure it's actually effective. So you're going to go and slaughter 500,000 sharks on the fingers crossed hopes that this does something.
Flu, it's going to work.
And not for nothing, like you looked at those stats have been going around where it's like 0.0002% of people from 18 to 49 have died. The only one that it still wasn't even 0.5%. It was 0.5% was the 70 to 80 bracket, whatever it was. So it's like, do we really need a vaccine for something that's not really killing people?
Right.
It's true.
Like,
what they say too in the article is that sharks don't reproduce as fast as they would think, and to take that much out the water. There's a woman that's fighting against it right now, but they're saying they're killing already almost 3 million sharks every year for just the squalene.
Well, and they
3
also
million.
do it on top for the shark fin soup. They just pull them up and they cut the fins off and then they just throw them back in the water anyway.
It's pretty,
and just let them die.
All the other fish will eat it, and that's like the world goes around. I'm like, that's fucking.
And they
torture.
only have like 1 to 2. What are they called? Pups when they're born.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That they don't have
at
a
a pregnancy, so it's not like they're popping out 1 million.
Yeah, it's
at
not
a time.
yeah, but how many sharks do we have? How many do we have?
I mean,
A lot,
people do
obviously.
fish for them, like recreationally. Like I said, for the shark fin soup, they do that big in Japan and California and things like that. But they don't use the whole shark.
But let's say we have 100 million sharks. Is 500,000 really a lot?
But if that's the
But
number,
they're already taking
But that's what I'm
3
saying.
million
We
I
don't,
don't know
we don't
what
know.
number it
We don't
is.
know how many sharks we're talking in population wise.
and is it a specific type of shark?
And it's not like
Is
you
it
could do a
any
census
kind of
on the
shark?
sharks.
Orca whales prey on shark livers. Oh no, that's what they're telling me something else. It doesn't say specific. It just
Because
says shark.
there's no way you can know. Like no one's counting sharks, and even if you could, you'd have to tag every single one.
I mean, people are
There's-
tagging and following the populations of all sorts
Yeah,
of
but
animals.
tagging. That's what I'm saying. Like you would have to tag every shark to know we counted him. We got him.
Well, no,
That's what
for
I'm
sure.
saying. So like, there's really no way of knowing how many
The
there
exact
are.
number.
There's waters in the ocean that haven't even been looked
of
at
course
yet.
not.
You know what I mean? So
You don't
like,
even know what's down below.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
the
that.
aliens live in the water.
well, no, sharks kind of swim more towards the surface, though.
Yeah, but it's
they,
not like
they tend to-
seahorses when they give birth. They give birth.
Seahorses
to
rule. If you don't
They
like
give birth to
seahorses, you
thousands.
suck.
You ever seen one? I mean, they give birth to thousands of babies at a
Well,
time.
to be fair, the daddy gives birth with the seahorses.
Yes,
No
he's.
joke.
You ever
And
see the
what, he
birth?
just jerks. Oh my god, they come
insane.
shooting
Dude, they come out
out
like hundreds at a time, just
Yeah.
like
do.
spitting out.
It's-
Look it up. It's
It's-
You know what
weird,
it kind
but
of looks
it's
like?
worthwhile.
Remember that water game where you push the button and the rings have to get on the thing? They kind of
Yeah.
like move like that when they come out. Like it's
They
just like this
do.
Yeah,
weird.
Like,
like
shot.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the fucking when you get hit and the rings go flying. But I just brought it up because sometimes we like to have serious subjects on here, and this is something where I feel, you're diving into. Can you take out 10 and test it? Can you take 10 sharks and test if this is what we actually need?
Right.
Before they start fucking netting these
Mass
poor
producing it.
creatures. Like that's just it's insane. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, or you want me to go right into my next?
Tinkerbell's gonna be black in the new live-action Peter Pan movie.
Why are they making
What?
a live-action Peter Pan movie? We already had Hook, and I feel like that was more than sufficient, and I loved
love
it.
Hook. But like again, I have no problem with casting who you want to cast, but it seems like Disney's now just like purposely going, we have to make them black. Like we have
Why can't
to.
they make another princess or another why can't it be like Blinkerbell? Like her sister, her cousin came back into town. Why can't it be? They
Well,
have
because
to
Peter Pan
change
has to have Tink.
what it's
You know what I
already.
mean? But like my whole
'Cause
thing
if
is
you're
like
recreating
it's like
it.
it's more forced than like it's more of a politically correct motivated decision.
Well, because it's
than-
Disney,
yeah, like
and they want to stay.
like the Little Mermaid now
mainstream.
also is a black girl or a Hispanic girl. I'm not sure exactly what
I
she
haven't
is.
seen any of the live-action Disney yet because it was my childhood, and I'm so scared they're just gonna ruin it for me. I haven't.
But it's like
seen
they're
any
doing
of
it
them.
going, we don't want people to get mad that we didn't.
and boycott.
Yeah, like, but it's like,
Well, why don't they just come up with another black princess?
well,
or
they have one, The Princess and the Frog.
But then get another one.
Yeah.
Like a different one,
But to change things like that, people for decades. I mean, Tinkerbell and Peter Pan are almost 100 fucking years old at this point, and it's like now you're just changing it just to change it, like
just for the sake of
yeah.
it.
There's no reason that you're doing it other than it's like
because it's politically correct.
Well, right now
they need to be all inclusive.
Right
at
now,
this
black
point.
is the big hot button thing, and so it's like we got to do that, and it's like. But you don't have to do that, and you're gonna have, the shitty white people that are now not gonna go see your movie because of it. Again, I really don't care. Peter Pan's not really for me anyway, but like it's the motivation behind it that I look at and go, I don't care for that.
I
like
have
that's
to be
the
honest.
thing.
I have never watched the next of remake of any of those movies that I saw as a kid. I always was like, well, if it's not the original, like the
Well, you
original
watched Beauty and the Beast.
Only
I didn't even watch that one yet, but I heard that one was
it was a
good.
great animation and it just kind of came on. But I love the originals of everything.
Like Lion King, I thought was completely unnecessary, and I thought it was not as good as the animated one.
I feel like they're just going for that money grab. So it's,
they absolutely
you're
are.
going for the childhood pull of the parents.
The
and,
nostalgia,
Oh, I grew
yeah.
up with this. This is amazing. But they're remaking it and
And now
trying to
bring
make
my
it
kids.
modern. And now you're going to bring the kids.
But
Whereas
for me, like Disney used
I
to
won't do it.
re-release movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Like remember that? Like they'd be like, for
the anniversaries and things like that.
Like, just do that.
They take it out of the vaults.
Yeah, like
you remember that shit.
But like no one's sitting there being like, that fucking Cinderella doesn't hold up. It's like, yeah, people have been watching that for 60 years and people still love it.
Yeah, but you know what? They redid Cinderella with Brandy, but they changed
That was
it.
on TV though.
But
That was on TV.
But the way they did it, they kept the integrity of the movie, but they changed it to go with everything else. Like it wasn't word for word a recreation.
But they did the live action Disney Cinderella, like a legit in the theater. Like that one was on Channel 7. I remember that was like an ABC
Yeah,
special.
I remember it. But even that,
Or
I
like
thought
branch
was a good
off,
move.
like how they did with Maleficent. Like those shits are dope. And
that
I-
was amazing.
I should not like
Maleficent
those
was
movies
great.
at all. And
Yeah,
she
one of
made
my
me watch,
favorites.
and I was like, I don't hate
No,
this.
Maleficent is great.
Yeah.
I
Did you
stand
watch
by
it?
that.
Those are good.
Angelina Jolie.
And I'm not.
I don't like
No,
her
but
either.
she was
but
made for that role.
Great
Yes,
movie.
she was made
She
for
did
that role.
so
She's
good.
definitely not a favorite of mine either. But when I watched Maleficent, I went, ooh, like she definitely was.
Oh, yeah, she
and
embodied
is
it.
Maleficent, But it was a great match. I just feel like they're always change. There's no reason to change the original. Just make something
leave
else.
it be.
Or make something else.
Yeah, but people have run out of ideas at this point. So they're like, all right, what are we going to redo now? Let's look in the bag.
See, I had the dopest idea for a Peter Pan movie. Jess knows it. And like I want to make it like this R-rated. Like my idea for Peter Pan, it's the basis of Peter Pan and all that stuff. But my idea for it is like so different and like such a cool twist on it.
I need to know now.
I will tell you after. I don't want to put it out there. You know my idea though, right?
Yeah, no, I think I remember, but you have so many ideas.
Remember the Bermuda Triangle thing? And
like, no,
Oh, yes,
I was
yes,
drinking
yes,
that
yes,
night.
I do remember, and that is a good idea. I don't know. I just feel like when they change things like that, it just gets kind of like.
But
all
then
right.
change it. Just change it completely then and
Yeah.
let it be something new and unique and just something brand new. Don't recreate and change, because if you're recreating, just recreate it.
Yeah, do what we all have grown to know. And everyone's
Right.
like, well, what's the big deal? It's like, it's not a big deal. It's just you're changing it just to do it. Like, you're
Right.
just doing it just to do it.
Just to say, hey, look at
Yeah.
us, look at us.
Yeah, like we can do it, so we're going to do it. And it's like, fine, you can. Obviously, it's your
Right.
property. Do what you want. But, little girls who have been watching The Little Mermaid through their parents now know The Little Mermaid to look the way she looks.
Right.
Same with Tinkerbell. So now you're changing it. It's not a recognizable figure anymore.
It's kind of hard to explain to kids. Like why they. I guess maybe Ariel had a twin. I don't. What do you really say? Oh, guess what? They decided to remake it. They're like, but she's Ariel.
Yeah.
At
You
that
know?
point, it's like, listen, it's just new. It is what it is. Here's
No,
But
yeah.
now
Little
when the
Mermaid.
poster
like, what do
comes
you
out,
do with it?
and you first look at it, you're not going to think, oh, that's the Little Mermaid.
No, not
You're
at
gonna go,
all.
oh, what's this mermaid movie? And then realize, oh, it's the Little
Right.
Mermaid. Whereas if you had her look the way she's supposed to look, you would go, oh, new little live action
Like I
mermaid.
said,
Right.
though-
And then that, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Well, that's why I was trying to say, like, if they actually had like Little Mermaid and then her cousin came to visit, which was another
Right.
princess, it could have been more understandable. Then they could have created a new movie off of
And
her.
then that's a
Kind
whole
of, ready? Perfect
extension.
example. Creed. Okay?
Oh.
They didn't remake Rocky.
they didn't.
But they did. Like Creed,
Yeah.
Part 1 is very similar to the Rocky
Yeah.
formula as far as Rocky 1 goes.
But he's from the Rocky
Well,
world.
exactly.
But it's not a recreation.
And Rocky's
it's an
still in
extension
it, you
of
know,
it.
and people love it.
'Cause
Like
it
Creed
was
1 and 2 are fucking
great.
awesome.
They're great movies. They
Yeah.
are. They're
So,
great
you know,
movies.
call Stallone up, Disney. He knows how to do it.
Yeah, well, seriously. So I don't know if you guys, I mean, obviously I'm not in the dating world, but I recently had gotten like this crazy notification. I don't know if you guys remember, like a year or two ago, this girl went missing. She went on a date off Tinder, and it was like 19 days or something before they found her and all this stuff. Well, they actually just started finding her. So
Wait.
a couple.
I thought you said they just found her
They
19
just-
days later.
No, this happened. I'm going to give you the date.
So she's dead.
She is dead.
Okay.
Yes.
the way you said it, it sounds like they're
No,
finding a piece
she's
of her
dead.
every day.
It
They're
was,
just starting
this
to
happened
find
in
her. Like,
2017.
Okay.
She went missing. So they're just starting to find her.
But what was the 19 days thing?
They found like a bag of her.
Oh, like her stuff.
Parts
Some
of her too.
parts of her.
Okay. So
And
now
they're still finding.
finding
Okay,
bags of
okay.
her.
oh, so it is like I thought you were
all
saying.
over fields in Nebraska. She went on Tinder to meet this guy, and it was actually a guy and girl. And the girl just got charged 4 life sentences they gave her for. Obviously, I'm glad. I'm not laughing, but I'm glad she's
fuck
getting
her.
it.
You're laughing at her misery
I'm
now.
laughing because she told the judge, like, I got sexual gratification from watching my boyfriend.
Oh,
sex
well, in
her,
that
her,
case, we'll set
kill
you
her.
free.
Wait. Just for clarity's sake, the boyfriend and the girlfriend went trolling for another girl.
Yeah, on Tinder.
Yes.
And they found this poor girl.
That met the guy.
And
yep.
the girl got off on watching
Her
the boyfriend.
Kill people.
Kill, rape her,
Okay.
chop her up into pieces.
And what was her defense to all of that?
At first, she was saying no, and now they're still. It was trials go for a long
So
time.
she's the Charles
she
Manson
just
in this
got
scenario.
shut down.
She kind of manipulated the boyfriend to do
the little
this.
puppeteering.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, but she like admitted it. She was like, I got off sexually from the torture.
Well,
Yeah.
enjoy your 4 consecutive life sentences.
I
Now
hope-
this is my thing, though.
Hope you get off on being raped in
I
prison.
hope that everybody understands like what
Yes,
the
women rape in
internet
prison,
is.
too.
Like this is I'm going on a date, I'm meeting somebody off of a dating site. I think I'm gonna have a great time. You have no idea.
Do we
who
know
the
where they
fuck-
met up or anything like that? Because that's also like another
that's
thing.
the
Like
thing,
people meet
too.
up in weird places. Like now, I've been noticing a lot on seeing videos of people buying or selling cars, and they'll do it at like 11 o'clock at night and
Yeah.
meet people in the weirdest
In, like, a
place,
weird
and they get robbed
storefront
or
that's
killed. And I'm like,
closed,
why
I'm
would
gonna
you
put
do
this
that?
up on my Twitter for anybody who wants to read it. But it says that they're a part of a vampire sex cult.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
it is like, I mean, it's
It's all
serious.
coming
Now it
together
makes sense. Now it
and,
makes
and they're
sense.
saying like, they're hoping not to find anybody else, or if they've done this already to everybody else, but that they had, done this and put her in bags all over ditches and farm fields.
Well, the
in
reasoning for that too,
Nebraska.
that's like it's harder to get caught that way because if they can't fully identify the body, so like if you put the feet separate from the hands and
Yes.
the teeth separate from that,
I think it's
And if the DNA is not in the system,
Yeah.
then you're just fucked.
Yeah,
Yes,
and if they don't
so-
have fingerprints, dental records is usually the best way to go. So you really want to hide those teeth.
the family now though is at least has
Some
a
kind of
peace of
closure.
mind knowing that they are in
They're not
jail
looking
and they're
for
not
her
out
anymore.
anymore. I just when I read it, I went, I just want to throw out there to everybody who meets online, maybe not the best idea.
So wait, but here's what you do though, because I've been down this road.
yes,
I am chipped. Now, I say that because Wendy knows where I am all the time.
Yes.
If you go on her phone or my phone and you do find we're in the group, so she always
What if I
knows
break
where
your
I am.
phone, though?
But here's the thing. I don't tell the dudes that I'm meeting up with, oh,
Yes,
by
I know,
the way.
but people know this exists.
Well, but also I'm paranoid, so there's like occasional contact. I'm good.
But
a
like
thumbs up,
what if
whatever.
like oops, accidentally spilled a drink
Oh,
on
no.
your phone?
100%.
Yeah.
However, there are, but also
Yeah.
I'm not a dumbass that's gonna meet someone in like a back alley
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
Like,
come come on,
You know
you
what I
love
mean?
back alley corners.
No, I'm in my 30s now. I got some standards.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe in her 20s she would have met him there, but
in
not
my
in her
20s,
30s.
I've done some
Maybe.
bad
Yeah.
shit.
You
However,
never know.
but I mean, there's certain steps you can take. It's not foolproof. However, there's still dudes out there that are gonna drug you.
No, but,
rape you,
like,
do whatever. But there are precautions.
Do we know,
you can
like,
take.
if I smash your phone, are they still able to ping it somehow?
I don't know.
Like, I wonder.
But Wendy's crazy. She will come looking for me and murder
Like, is there like a
everyone in
certain
sight.
thing in the phone?
I don't know.
But like, is there a certain thing in your phone that, like,
It
you know what I
keeps
mean? Yeah,
dinging it?
like no matter what, like dead power
I
or
don't
broken,
know.
like a black box. You know what I mean? Like something like kind of like to
It'll
that
still
effect.
make like a signal once every
Yeah.
hour.
yeah,
or
something.
Well, maybe actually thinking about it, if they don't actually smash your SIM card, that's probably what is getting the signal,
Right.
because it's like into the phone. That's where everything goes through.
no.
So maybe if I don't know. I mean, I just read that and I was like, well,
Well, there are like I said, there are precautions you can take. But if you're going to be a dum dum and meet in a dark corner somewhere in the middle of the night, I'm not saying you deserve it, but I'm saying like, come on.
Well,
Yeah.
I've met before.
Like,
I met
you
off
can-
MySpace
Yeah,
when it was
and that's
big,
fine, but you'll go
But it was
to
a gas station. Like,
Starbucks.
meet me at this lit up gas station. Meet me
Right.
over here, or meet me at Jilly's. I felt
Right.
safe there, And it was. I was always disappointed. Like, what? You are not the same as that fucking picture. Or it was always just like, maybe we could just be cool. I've never met someone and went, oh. But sometimes it does happen when you read this kind of stuff. Though, like, makes you just think. There are these people that are out there that are just that's what they do.
They're just
just
predators.
predators try
Yeah.
to get these people. And it's a scary thought thinking about, most of our children every are just always on the internet,
Like, imagine Ted Bundy. Like, if this shit existed
Oh
today,
my God.
like he'd be having
His
a field
body
day.
count would be
Yeah, he would be like
phenomenal.
so
Yeah.
happy.
Most of them serial killers.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
fucking all crazy.
Just like a menu at that point.
Yeah.
Pretty much like.
Like,
there's a lot of
preying
kids
on the
out there that are just
insecurities
like,
and
I
the
want
bullshit.
attention.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's a business idea. We start a chaperone service for these days.
I already do that.
No, but like a private eye type thing where the
Where
person
we
has
just
no
sit in a
idea.
car
I've
a
done
few
that.
cars
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
I've done
But you
that.
start a service doing it,
Table,
you know?
You were having dinner, we're watching.
Yeah, watching your
they
every
don't know we
move.
know.
We
know
leave,
what?
you
That
leave.
is a good business idea. However, I have zero time. He can do it. And then I'll keep you guys on like my video chat. Like, is everybody all right? Everybody okay?
If
You know?
earpieces and shit, they're on the move. They're on the
All right,
move.
exactly. We'll always be in the earpiece. Like, all right, guys, I think we're all right. Or we'll get them walkie-talkies. Is everybody all right? Nextel is like, what are you doing?
Nextels.
Alert them. It just alerts till they pick it up. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a really sick story, and it's not like a funny thing. But I thought about it, and I was like, let me bring it up. Maybe people will start being careful. Not that we are in Nebraska,
But you should be careful regardless.
yeah,
You're
it's-
meeting a
it's
stranger
pretty-
off the
pretty
internet. Like,
creepy.
We got the debates today.
I know.
They're happening right now.
I
I'm
can't,
like,
I
so
can't wait
yeah.
to kind of.
We're gonna catch the last half hour at least, but I'm like, I want to know what's happening right now.
I do
I'm
wanna
like so
kinda know.
tempted to go on
it's
my
gonna be a
Hulu on the
glorious
computer.
shit show, no matter what.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no other way.
Between the two, they can't. No one can speak for them, right?
Well, the Trump requested that Biden's ears were checked because he wanted
His
to know
ears were
because he wanted to
checked?
know if he had an earpiece and he was being fed shit.
they all wear
Oh,
earpieces.
shit.
No, that not at the debates they don't.
Well, they're not supposed to.
yeah,
But come on.
but they denied it. They were like, no, and that, to me, it's like, well, why not? Like, what's the? It's literally 2 seconds of me
Right.
looking in. What are you hiding then?
Yeah. Why do you care for
Like,
the ear?
yeah, what's the big fucking deal? Which tells me, yeah, he can't do this on his own. There's a fucking earpiece in there.
There's always something, and we talked about it last week. These presidential candidates, they're all just puppets.
Oh,
they're,
yeah,
Of
yeah.
they're the
course.
showpiece. They're the talking head.
See,
There's
but like,
no,
I feel like with
substance
Trump, I
behind
feel like
it.
it's different though. Like, I feel like he's not going to let people. This is what you need to say, Donald. Like, look at his Twitter.
okay? It's
You
a
know what
right
I
to
mean?
voice
Like,
broken.
people can't even stop him on
But that's
Twitter.
like him
you know?
hiding in the bathroom,
I
like
don't
taking
think
a shit and
so.
being like, "I'm gonna write this
Give me
real
the
quick."
Like, because he wasn't in that world ever, and then he just went full force into that world and became president. Like, I feel like he's the type of guy where they're like, Mr. President, you can't say it, and he'll be like, yeah, well, go fuck yourself and you're fired. Bye.
Yeah.
I'll do what I want. Eat shit. You know?
Kinda.
And he's kind of been that guy.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
He's
you know?
calmed down a little bit, and I think he's realized he really can't just pop off and
He's
say
been groomed. He's been
absolutely
groomed a little
everything and
bit.
anything. He still pops off,
Yeah.
but not to the extent in the beginning
it's
when it's
calmed
just
down.
like every little thought he had to say it immediately.
Yeah. Like his Twitter has calmed down a lot. Yeah, like
he was like
has
a
calmed
5-year-old
down.
that needed that instant
Oh, yeah.
gratification.
For
Now he's
sure.
like a 13-year-old that just wants the the attention a little bit. Tell him he's pretty.
Yes.
Tell him he's such a good boy.
But like, I feel like this debate has more heat than even 4 years ago when everyone was like, let's see what Trump's going to say this week.
I
You
know.
know,
they were
now it's
waiting.
like, this one is like, oh, Joe's going to get fucking pummeled.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
he's
just because he doesn't complete a thought.
Is anybody in the chat watching it? If you are, let us know how it's going.
I feel like he just starts to say something and then he just drifts to a second and then drifts back.
He's like a cat with a shiny object. Like,
As
he'll be
do
like,
most people
focus,
in their
focus. What was
70s.
that?
no, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true. And I'm not trying to like bash or anything. I'm just saying like when he speaks, I just go, what?
And he's got the speech impediment with the stutter.
Which doesn't help anything.
No, it doesn't. Which also makes it seem like you're lying a lot of the times because it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
stall tactic, you know?
You're like, well, yeah.
Or you
yeah,
don't remember
I
what
get
you're
it.
supposed to say, so you're
Yeah.
just tripping over your own words.
Yeah, and they really don't like get it out there enough. No, he does have a stutter. It's a speech impediment.
Right.
Like, you know, I know, and I'm sure some people do, but it's not like this very known thing
Right.
Yeah.
that he has it. So you would think, hey, let's push that out there a little bit more so when you are stuttering, people know, oh, and maybe get a little sympathy
Well,
card
but
going.
you would also think at that age and at that high level,
He should have worked on
you
it.
should have worked on it with a
Yeah.
speech therapist. And kind
Yeah.
of public speaking is a big part of your job at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be able to say what you need to say concisely and get it out there.
Well,
so
we
you're
watched
not stuttering.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Just never seen it. And
Don't worry, I haven't seen it either.
It was so
There's
good.
there's the one kid Billy in there he's a younger kid and he has a horrible stutter, and at the end of the movie he gets laid and all of a sudden it's gone.
Oh.
Like he's like he's just
so
talking.
is what I'm hearing that Biden needs to get laid?
but but it's funny because it's like it just
Maybe.
turned off, and I've heard of scenarios like that, not getting laid and it turns off, but I've heard that one day it's just like gone, and then Nurse Ratched does some grimy shit and it's right back, But you look
Nurse
at that,
Ratched.
oh, she's just the worst.
is
How was that
horrible.
show?
Oh, it was so good.
You finished
have to
it?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah?
finished it
All right.
when I started talking to you guys. It's only 8 episodes.
Yeah. Are they hour or half hour?
What is it?
I think they're like 40 some
45
odd minutes,
All right,
somewhere
yeah.
around there.
It's about Nurse Ratched.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was based on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest
Yeah.
until
But
the
it's prequel,
second
right?
episode.
Or is it after?
I haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so it says like
Do
if
they
you're,
talk about Billy Babbitt or R.J. McMurphy at all?
No,
Okay, so then it's got to be a prequel because she's
No.
younger in it. That's what it seems like. She's younger because
she
it's
is
Sarah Paulson.
younger, but I don't think. I think it's based loosely off of it. I'm gonna have to watch One Flew Over the
Well, the
Cuckoo's
character,
Nest
obviously,
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
I can't even talk right now.
But that movie's so good, and Jess never got to see it. And I haven't watched it in
You're
forever.
gonna like Ratched.
And it's so
Okay.
funny. Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like you're laughing through the most of it. Like
Right.
most of it, you're laughing, and then like towards the end, it gets pretty dark, and you're like, oh, this is not funny anymore. Like fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ratchet's like that too. But I have a thing for Vincent D'Onofrio, and he's in it.
Really?
okay.
Yes. No, well, no, it's not a matter of like, oh, I do him. It's just all of his roles. He's so.
See, I always
Into
see
it,
him
it
as
always
Gomer
looks
Pyle.
different.
He's always Private Pyle to me.
Oh, from Full Metal
always,
Jacket.
like no matter
100%.
what. And-
I cried.
Realize that's him because how different he looks.
And that movie was also like what 20
oh yeah,
plus years ago
way
now.
more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably almost
But
40.
I
would
love
think.
everything he does. I loved him in what was it, Law and Order? He did for years
Yeah.
and years as well.
Remember The Cell with Jennifer Lopez, where he was that
Yes.
like demon, the dream
But
demon
he's
thing.
So
You never seen that?
No.
He was like a serial killer, but also she would go into this world, and he was like the ruler of this world.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this like virtual reality almost or something. And they
But
would
it was
use
like
it though
his
to
world.
capture the. It helped them fight crime. You know, it was like kind of futuristic. And she would go in there, and he was very seductive in there, and she started like falling for him and shit. And it's crazy. He was awesome in that. That
He's-
movie kind of stinks, but he
he's
was really
great
good.
and so much. Even with him as Kingpin in
Daredevil.
yes,
Yeah.
he was a great Kingpin.
Yeah.
And I think it was both seasons he did.
Yes, and I believe he was in another spin-off, one of the other, like Luke Cage, I think he popped up in also.
Yeah,
didn't he?
like once or there were a few because he was in prison and then I think he got broken out or
Yeah.
some shit. I love Vincent D'Onofrio. I haven't seen him in anything that I'm like, oh, this was not for him. Like he just,
plays the good
he's
role
right
when
there
he's
with
gotta
David
play.
Tennant with me. Like I just,
David
You
Tennant.
say these
Who's
two
David
names and
Tennant?
both of them, I'm like, I don't know.
David Tennant was in, oh God.
I know that name. I know
Yeah,
who
you
you're
do.
talking
He was
about.
the doctor on Doctor Who. He was
I
he
don't
was-
watch Doctor
okay.
Who. I'm not. a
no,
nerd.
no, not the original. But then he was in what's the one with Jessica Jones?
I also don't know who that is.
No one.
Hold on, I'm looking him
No.
up now.
Okay, David Tennant. I love him. He's amazing. I first saw him in Doctor Who.
He was the voice of Scrooge McDuck in the
He
new
was in
DuckTales.
the remake. Yes.
All
he was.
Or now I know who he
does
is.
a lot of Shakespeare and like theater
Yeah,
work.
that's what I'm seeing
But he was
here.
the baddie in Jessica Jones.
And he was in one of the Harry Potter movies.
Yes, he was Mad Eye Moody.
I don't even know this guy.
Or he was,
Yeah.
Barry Crouch Jr., whatever. Barty, sorry.
Yeah.
But
He's Scottish.
oh, you guys are missing out. He's so
Yeah.
great. I'm
He's
sorry.
Scottish.
That's okay.
Big
I'm
nerd.
gonna.
Did you watch Dead to Me?
On her forehead. It's cool.
Oh, tell me.
Which one's that?
Do
I know
I
the
need
name of
to?
it.
And Applegate.
Oh, that's supposed to be
No.
great. And what's her face? Who else? There's
Married to, not married, in Andrew Dice Clay's show. She was the girlfriend, Linda Carr.
no, Natalie.
Checking on Valentine
Natalie,
Love.
she's the
I
comic.
just can't help it.
Natalia.
She's not feeling
Natalia something.
That's not her. I thought it was the same girl.
Dead to me though.
I have. Oh, good. What were you gonna say?
But Christine Applegate's a widow.
Okay.
Her husband gets killed
It's supposed to be kind of funny too, right?
in a car accident. Hit and run.
Yeah.
It's funny and it's dark. It's kind of like
It's like a dark comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like really dark, and she meets this other person who's lost somebody in a grievance group.
Oh, Linda Cardinelli. She's in everything. It looks different. She was Daphne, and not Daphne. Velma, right? Who's the nerdy one in Scooby Doo?
Velma.
Yeah, she was Velma in the Scooby Doo. She was Freaks and Geeks, the sister in Freaks and Geeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
She's in
Freaks
so
and
many
Geeks.
things, and every time you look at her and go, "Oh shit, that's her," and it doesn't
She's
register.
just one of those. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just really good, and like that's how it starts off. Like the funeral just happened, that they just buried her husband, and then she meets her, Velma, whatever her real name is.
Linda,
And
what's
they
her
become
face?
best
Yes.
friends,
And
then
Tits
just
McGee.
Yes.
everything unravels, and it's so good. I watched it like in 2 days.
Yeah.
30
A little
minute
bit closer, Matt.
Oh.
10 minutes, 10 episodes only. So I was like, wow.
All right, so I have something. I always like to bring up myself. It's easiest to use myself in situations, and I recently have been working with a issue I'm having, and I love that I have two ladies here to get your opinions, and also my husband. I don't know if he knows it, but now he will. So Rocky and I have a very affectionate and physical relationship, and there's only some times where I'm like, I can't or I don't want to. Never really say no, or always tired, or the kids need us, but we're like, pretty sexual.
You're
now,
active.
yeah, we're very active, and so I started to have issues thinking about why I connect affection and sex. And if there is, last night I couldn't, I really hurt my knee, and the night before we didn't. So it's 2 nights in a row, and that's not normal. Normally we're like just, 5 nights, 6 nights.
There's like the one night a week where you guys are like, all
I'm
right.
fucking shot. Yeah, we need a break. So it's been 2 nights, and I felt uncomfortable. And I'm in the bathroom washing my face, and I'm like, why do I feel like he's not giving me affection? And then I'm like, asshole. He kisses you every morning. He kisses you to bed. He hugs you all day. Pinches my ass. Whatever. But I'm always connecting my affection with sex, and I'm having a hard time separating them because it's just always been.
Well, it sounds like you're saying intimacy and sex are the same thing.
Right. And
Whereas intimacy can be just holding hands.
Yes.
The pat on the butt.
cuddling on the couch.
Grabbing the boob real
which
quick.
is all the time.
But if you're just correlating sex as intimacy.
Right. Not
That's-
as a woman. Like, do you ever feel in a relationship, let's just say 2-3 nights go by and they don't want it? Do you ever go, why the fuck is it me? Is there something wrong? Why isn't he affectionate? Do you ever think like that?
But I've been in really shitty relationships.
I think
so I don't
everybody
know
does,
that
though.
I have the
No, but
best perspective.
I think everybody does, though.
I think I have a healthier perspective now, but
Together too, like what's going on.
Right. So I don't, so now my issue is I'm thinking about it, and I'm very open with myself. Like, I'm not like, I am perfect. No, I have a lot of things, of course, as a woman that I pick on. But what do you have, like, what tools do you guys use when you need to talk yourself down from, I look at him and I'm like, you love me? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're my world. And I'm like, all right, maybe I just wanted to hear it at that moment, or maybe I'm like, and it's me, actually, the past 2 nights that I was tired and my knee hurt. It's
Yeah.
not like he said he didn't want to. So I'm like, you did this to yourself.
Right.
Like, couldn't you limp, asshole? Or how, is there a way for me to now separate that?
you just have to remind yourself. Like, sex doesn't equate to intimacy.
Right.
Like, I have to pound it into my brain sometimes. Like, just because you're fucking somebody doesn't mean that's the intimate act. I find it at this point in my life, it's more intimate to sit on a couch and have him hold my hand.
Right.
And we're just cuddling. I find that to be more intimate than fucking.
Right.
But that's just me. And it took me 33 years to figure that out. Just because someone's having sex with me doesn't mean anything.
We're having sex at 1 year old?
I was really close to a vagina at 1 year old, like fresh out of the oven. But you have to remind yourself it's not the sex, but it sounds like you're so used to it 6-7 times a week that the 2 days off is a shock to the system.
The
so
change, right?
Right, and it's not that you guys don't want each other. It's just there are outside forces that it didn't happen.
Right.
But you're so used to it, and it's habitual at that point. So now it's being taken away, and it's almost like a withdrawal. Like,
well, why not? Yeah.
well, why not now?
And he's not the guy that's like, well, hello. He's just like, babe, you're not feeling it? Let's go to sleep. No big deal.
Right.
And last night, my knee, I had hit it during work, and it was so bad. I was icing it. I couldn't even walk. And I get in the bed, and I'm like, I have one leg. Like, I can't do anything. And he's like, it's fine. Let's just go to sleep. But in my head, I was like, you're an asshole. Just, what are you doing? Like, even to a point where, like, this morning I woke up, and I'm like, why can't I just go, hey, I also think with COVID, we used to once or twice a week movie nights. You know me very well. So we were date night galore. And it was, I'm not kidding, at least 5-6 times a month, we had dinner and a movie. That was our thing. Now that you don't go to the movies, maybe I'm also, like, I try to analyze everything, but I was like, I'm going to have 2 females. I want to know, like, Madalena, when you're dating, what do you feel like when a guy, like, how do you, like, what do you feel like when it comes to that point, when you're sex or no sex, or, does it ever change for you where you're like, what the fuck? Why does this feel different?
Yes. But I think just like you, I overthink things, and your knee hurt, this happened, the kids are sick. Like, you got to grab all those factors and rule them in.
Right.
And then realize, okay, it's only been 2 days. It's
Right.
been 2 months.
Yes.
2 years.
Yes.
You know?
I know.
Also because
Poor me.
You're an overachiever.
Right.
And you're used to doing everything, do. So then when something's out of whack,
Right.
you kind of think, oh, shit, what did I do?
Right.
So you just got to do that.
So is there anything that you guys would suggest I do to...
Yeah, look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not a dumb bitch. I'm going to go fuck him tomorrow, and it's going to be fine.
Only day 3.
Like, we're
Tuesday night
gonna
is
break the
always
streak.
fuck night.
Like-
Tuesday night is always...
Tuesday, what?
No, but I'm glad, though, because if anybody else, I don't know how many women I have in here since I have you 2 here, but if anybody else has, a guy and you have ever felt that, throw it in the chat room. So, Rock, you're...
I just think human nature is, you have insecurities in general, but, women go to weird places. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, there's this weird downward spiral that women get into that men just don't have.
But besides that, how do you feel when it's those 2 nights that I'm just like, I'm off? Like, do you feel like, why doesn't she want me? Or you're just like, she fucking hurt her knee?
No, yeah, I'm like, shit, shit happens. What are you going to do? Like, I'm never sitting there like, oh, she must not love me anymore. No, like, that's crazy.
That's not the general, male logic.
But that's what I mean.
She didn't
like,
touch my dick today.
But that's
she
what
must
I'm
hate
talking
me.
about. Like, women, like, we've talked about this before, where, like, it'll be, like, the simplest thing of, like, he walked by me and didn't slap my ass. Why didn't he slap my ass? Am I ugly?
It's that, like,
is it,
overthinking.
Is he now not in love with me anymore? He must be fucking someone else. Who's the other girl? I'll find this bitch. I'll fucking kill her.
I never think like that,
No.
but I do get to a point where, like, why didn't he try harder? Like, why didn't he just stick it in? And I'm like, you had one leg, Jessica. You had one leg.
Because, like, also,
just
though.
lay there next
no,
time.
but
That's
also,
it.
like, you look at it, and I said it to her last night. I was like, well, now it's just creepy. Like, I know you're not into it, so now, like, I'm this creep. Like, I feel like a fucking weirdo.
Well,
You know what I
gotta be
mean?
Weird. You're my husband.
I
It's
get,
not
yes,
you.
but it's
It's a
still
little
like.
stranger outside the
necrophilia
window.
No,
situation
but it's like,
happening.
she's not in the mood, so now, like, all right, that's fine. I'm
Right.
fine with that.
I'll survive.
Yeah, but, like, now if I, like, make a move, now I feel like I'm some kind of, like, pusher, and, like, I don't want to be
It's
that
like
person
she already
either.
said no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to date rape
Like,
my wife.
But not all men are like, I respect women a lot. So, like, also, I don't want to put them in a weird position ever. You know, wife or not, like I don't want to put her in a weird position where she's
That
like,
would
well,
be
now I
ridiculous.
have to, and she feels bad. Like I don't want you to fuck me because you feel bad.
You don't want the pity
You
fuck.
know, no. You know, like,
That's my wife. You don't need to pity
Yeah.
fuck me.
No,
When you're feeling better.
I guess you're right. I wanted to know from a male point of view. You like, have you ever gotten to a point where you were just like, what the fuck?
no.
Well, I guess.
No. No.
But that's because he's got a bomb
God
ass
damn it.
wife.
Can I just for a
so-
minute take half my brain and make it half guy, half girl?
No, it doesn't work
It
that way.
doesn't.
I can't get rid of all that feeling, you know? But it makes me feel good that I can openly speak about it, and he's not the kind of guy who'll be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he's always just like, babe. And he'll tell me, like he did last night, he's like, I don't want to be a creep. And I'm like, you're not a creep. I'm like, but if you really want it. And he was like, babe, you go to sleep. And I'm like, okay. You know, like I get cuddled up, and then I come behind him, I hold him, and I'm like, I love you. He's like, I love you too, babe. Like, chill. But inside, you always feel like that moment of, am I doing enough? Or, you know, like I don't know why the
You
fuck I
have
hate
to-
feeling like that.
You just have to break the correlation that sex is intimacy.
Right.
Like remind yourself intimacy is you guys cuddling on the couch, having a conversation,
Right.
holding hands, smacking each other's butts, whatever it is. Because if you're only correlating it as sex, what happens when you guys are 90 and you can't physically do it anymore? Like, what's the options? You no longer have intimacy?
I think at that point, no, of course not. But I think at that point that we can't function. You know, I think that we will maybe we'll get a girlfriend. All right, at 90, I'll find us a nice 50-year-old,
60-year-old.
and I'll be like, bitch, all you have to do is clean the dishes and fuck my husband, and we'll be happy. You know, I mean, women, I think at a certain age don't want it before men, where they're just like, whatever. You know, I think girls kind of get that way. More men are like, want it more. Is that the way it is, or is it backwards? Like when
Women
guys
don't
lose
hit
it,
their peak until I had read somewhere ages ago. Women don't hit their peak until like their mid 30s, and most dudes hit their peak at like 18, 19.
Yeah. Well, the
So-
guys typically their peak, from what I've read, is 18 to like 25.
Right.
And women like don't start. It's that Patrice joke, where he's like, you know, between like 30 and 40, but he's like, but you're already expired at that point. He's like,
It's a
he's like,
catch-22.
he's like, nobody wants your old dusty pussy by then. He's like, you're already used up. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically his joke, where he's like, you know, guys, you get them in their prime, 18 to 25. They're still fucking young stallions.
Yeah.
By the time a woman hits their sexual prime, they're already like, no, I don't want you no more. You know? He's like,
But
you're
then you
already
factor
done.
in like menopause, and like you physically have problems having sex at that point. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're drying up like the fucking Sahara at that point.
yeah.
And it's just,
later. That's like 50.
well, for some people go into early menopause in like their 40s.
Here, I was going through Twitter real quick, and I just want to play this. This is from the debate tonight, real fast.
Go ahead.
Answer that question. The question is, the radical left. Will you shut up, man?
Oh my God!
Gentlemen, I think
Will you shut up, man?
I
At least they're being cordial.
oh my God! That
The drinking game to this?
Yeah, I saw a
every
few people
time you
had
make a
things.
mistake, you got to take a
Oh, man.
yeah, you got to take a
Yeah.
shot.
Everyone's gonna die tonight,
Oh,
apparently.
but I'm looking at Twitter, and everybody's like, "This is exactly what we thought it was going to be."
a shit show.
Yeah,
An absolute
yeah.
shit show.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait. We're gonna definitely watch this after the show.
I'm just gonna wait for the memes, guys.
Oh
there
my
you go.
God, the memes are the best. Yeah, they are really good.
Oh my God! What a fucking shit
I
show
have
it is.
one more story to bring up, and I'm going to bring it up because I love this stuff, although Rocky laughs at me every time. Did you know they found a humongous river of water running in the middle of Mars? No. They found a huge body of water, okay? And there's a few.
underneath the surface, though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that sprout out all the way through. So they're saying that there can be like life on Mars, and so they're like trying to find the root of where the water's coming from, but they're stating that like this is what it looks like. Actually, it looks like a really fucked up vagina, but
Oh, now
stems-
that you've said
it
it,
stems off everywhere, and they said they testing the water that it is drinkable water. So
Earth Part 2, we're gonna fuck up Mars now.
they're saying that Earth, you know, they are looking for aliens. They're looking for where, first of all, I mean, I'm sure Mars is humongous, but they're looking for some type of life form now that there is water there. And I'm so interested to find out, what do you guys think about aliens? Do you think that this is just water, or you think that there could be something living there?
Well, usually when there's water, there's gotta be. But usually when there's water, there's at least like microorganisms and stuff
There's something living
there's
in it.
something living in water. Like there's usually life around water.
That's
So
why
I mean,
I'm
at
saying.
least well, we say that on Earth though, so it's like we don't know water anywhere else. So, you know.
Water could be something else
Yeah.
anywhere else. So my thought process on this is that the universe is ever expanding and it's never not expanding. And to think that we're the only intelligent life forms in the entire universe is extremely narcissistic of
Yes,
us.
Yeah.
yes.
That there's not some kind of life. It may not look like this. It may look better, worse,
Different,
smaller, bigger,
green.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, there's no way there's life anywhere else. Why not?
Well, I say
Right.
that about humans in
not?
general. Like, you know how like in our generation, it's like, man, the world's coming to an end and this, that. Well, like there's always like these events that like we think will happen for us, you know, and it's like it didn't happen for anybody. Like, what makes you so special that you
Right.
think all of a sudden these things? It's like, shut up. It's just humans in general, as a whole, you know, are narcissistic in our behavior. I'm not saying everybody is, but like our thought process on like outside of
selfish.
Earth
Yeah.
is like, you know, of course aliens would come here.
Well,
it's
duh.
like, why would
we're like
they?
the hood
we're
of the
terrible.
universe. They
Yeah.
lock the cars and go, no,
yeah,
not
right. We're gonna keep our
today.
spaceship hovering. We're not coming down there. Well, what made me think like is because I am one of those people who if I did see a spacecraft of some form, I wouldn't necessarily be scared. I
Jess would be that
kinda
girl on the Empire State Building in Independence Day with the sign. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but I would be so interested to learn because we are only told what we're told, you know. So I would love to just know and learn about them. And I try to keep myself spiritually connected to my vortex and my spirit. But I'm like, what if there was another planet that we could go, you know what? Fuck this place. I'm going to go over there because they let me fly fucking spacecrafts all the time.
But even Mars, do you know how long it would take to get there?
It takes months.
Yeah, like it's not like a quick trip.
It takes like a month to get to the moon, I believe.
Yeah, it's like some crazy amount of time.
Well, this is why they say
like-
they have these ships that are like in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that's Tesla. What's his face? Elon Musk
yeah.
is
But they're
you know,
also saying-
he's
'cause
revolutionizing
there-
space travel.
There were the applications for colonizing Mars years ago, and they said it's basically a one-way trip.
Yeah,
the
it
people
is.
that are volunteering
Yeah,
to
you're
do
not coming
this,
back.
You're not coming back.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Why
that's it.
are
It's
they
a
not
one-way
coming
trip.
back though because of the gas and they won't have any over
Yeah,
there?
it's the gas. No, it's the
It's
first of all,
every
it's,
day.
This ship, and
it's
we-
dangerous for one. Like you know, space travel in
gas.
general is very dangerous, and for two, like it's not feasible to like make it this come back and forth type thing. Like if you're
It's not a round
transporting
trip
stuff,
situation.
you know what I mean? If you're transporting stuff and it's unmanned missions, then yeah, it's kind of fine. But the human body is not meant to do space travel regularly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the people who do it, that astronauts that come back, like they're fucked up for months, like physically and emotionally, and you know your headspace. You're stuck in like basically a submarine, but like that type of vessel. You know, for months on end, you don't have real outside contact with anything. And when you get to Mars, you're still not going to have outside contact. You're going to be
with
in like a
whoever
globe.
you're with, and that's it. And the whole point of colonizing it is you're basically, the theory of it is that they're going to go and set it up basically as like a plan B planet. Like, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
It's a one-way trip.
Yeah. I heard about that too, right? They were looking into actually making like a planet for garbage
Yeah.
and
yeah.
a planet for prisoners.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to planet for prisoners. Get the fuck out. I mean, not prisoners in general. I'm saying like, we could just do child molesters,
All the
killers,
pedophiles.
all those motherfuckers. Get out. But as far as like going to another planet, like some of these astronauts, you read about it and they're like, none of them have families, none of them have children, and they're like, this is what I want to do for my life. And I don't know if I would ever be able to do that
But you're
because
test
I have a
bunnies.
family.
The people going there are
but you
test
would
bunnies.
be-
Yeah, that's all you are.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you're
I
just
mean,
a-
if you
You're the guinea
disappeared,
pig.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And that's it.
Yeah.
You're a pioneer, but you're also
Yeah.
a footnote in the history books at that
Now,
point.
let's just say there was the option, let's just say 10 years, they come up with now that there is people there and it could be livable and you could do this. Would you ever consider starting over?
No.
What if you can get everybody you love to go with you?
No.
You want to stay on Earth?
Well, you can't go outside. Like you're stuck in, like you're trapped
Like a
inside. No
biodome
matter
bubble.
what. Yeah.
Why? Is there no oxygen?
No, it's a different atmosphere. Like we don't know what Mars's
so
atmosphere
we're not
is like.
equipped
Humanly,
beings.
yeah, no.
to-
Like you're in a constant space.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's face exploded when he went
Oh,
outside on Mars.
I see. I see.
You're
I'm
not
just
gonna-
asking.
No,
You're
I
not
know,
gonna
live
no.
Earth life.
No, the Earth
on
Earth is
Mars.
perfect for humans, and that's why
Which
we're
is why
here.
we exist
You know,
on
we're
Earth.
far enough away from the sun, but we're close enough to it where it sustains life. We are far enough away from the moon, but we're close enough to it where
Right.
you know
Right.
it does all the orbiting and that type of shit. Like it's a living on Earth itself is like a miracle. Like the fact that humans are able to exist on this planet is a miracle. Like
Right.
it really is, and people take that for granted. Like just living, just being you is a miracle. Like you have a 1 in a zillion shot
Right.
of you being the sperm that fucking connects with the fucking ovaries
right,
and does
you're
all
right.
that. So like. It's not just as easy as, hey, we're going to go to Mars. Like you have to build a whole structural
The whole ecosystem
living
at that point.
ecosystem and living place, and have to constantly have oxygen running through it. And
Now, if they find water, like they found water, so now would they be able to go and like plant trees?
But then that brings in like the soil content and what can you grow in that soil? Like
I
great,
love-
you
I
have
love
water
this.
to water it, but like not all plants. Like cactus isn't going to survive
Well-
in my front yard.
well, Matt
Right.
Damon was able to grow potatoes.
Oh, I remember that. He was sprinkling Vicodin on them, like as you know, a little extra.
I'm just saying, I bring it up because, he laughs at me when I do, and I'm like, I'm going to have 2 other brains. I just want to know, like,
Well, one.
2 other brain. Oh, what are you trying to say?
Because I'm stupid.
They
it's
each have half a
fine.
brain. Is
Are
what I
you
was
kidding?
saying.
Oh my God, it's really gangster. I
God
mean,
forbid I make a joke. I know.
sometimes it's just
I'm
not
the
funny,
worst.
only to you.
Well, that's all that matters.
He actually says it all the time. He's like, if I'm laughing, then we're good. Yeah, I don't know. I figured I would talk about it. I was reading this and I started getting a little excited that, maybe he believed me that there were other living aliens out there.
Again, like the news will be like life found on this place, and it's like, yeah, but it's like a bio.
It's like a
well,
microorganism.
It's like the tiniest thing ever, or it's like,
Which is great,
A
but
lot of the
it's
times,
not.
it's like a gas cloud, like that could, technically be life, but it's not. It's like.
It's
That
not
it happened a
life as
few
you
weeks ago,
consider
like
it.
on Venus or wherever they found life on another planet, and it was like, well, it was a thing in a gas cloud, and technically it's life, but it's not like an alien life form where it's a person being thing.
So it's like a fetus conversation.
Do you guys believe
What is life?
that they have like this Area 51 around here? Like they have aliens and spaceships and shit that they're dissecting around here and keeping it from us because they're afraid of hysteria?
I mean,
But
my
Yes.
God.
why would there be
Say
hysteria?
it loud. Say it
though?
loud. I'm
Because
proud.
people don't like change.
No, but like,
Or the
all right,
unknown.
but it would become normalized after, like, first, yeah, everyone
After
would be,
how
the shock
long,
would be like, holy
though?
shit, there really are aliens, and then people kind of adapt pretty quickly, where it'd be like, all right, cool,
I mean,
like it's not harming us or affecting us, so why would there be panic and
because
hysteria?
people there's hysteria depending on how the information's given to people as
Right,
well. So
right.
if it's portrayed as they're dangerous, scary, they're gonna murder you and your children, they hate Jesus,
But
like,
they've
whatever
never,
it is.
but they've never
like-
been here. That's the other thing. It's like, well, they've never been here. So like, you caught one, but they've never been here. It's not like they even came back looking for this guy. Like, how much do they really
Well,
care
but
about
how
this
do
place?
we know that they haven't and they caught the mama too?
Because I mean, eventually we would have seen like an army of these aliens
Coming
here,
for
and,
their
like,
babies.
like, hey,
Maybe it's a Men in Black situation. You know, we've all been with the light.
Yeah.
You know, like masks.
Good night. Yeah, good night. You didn't see anything.
I don't know.
I just don't think I don't think people would freak out the way everyone thinks they. I think it would be like initial, like I said, shock of like, holy shit,
Yeah, but
they
like,
really are
look
aliens,
what
and then it would be like, all
happened
right,
with COVID, everyone panicked, lost their shit. You couldn't find toilet paper anywhere.
yeah. Now, but we've all moved on. Now we're kind of pissed off. you
Right.
know,
But
like-
it's like this evolution, and you don't know what people are going to do. You have the people that live in the bunkers already, and
Yeah.
they've been canning meat and things for years, just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you don't know what a mass population's going to do. Will they take it well? Maybe.
Well,
Will there
like I
be
said-
mass hysteria? Possibly.
I don't think. See, I think the majority would take it just kind of like, all right, shocking, but you
Well,
know.
because we've been shocked by so
But
much.
yeah,
these
you're gonna
days.
have those people
guess,
that
right.
will try
We're
to,
dulled to it at
act
this
in a mass
point.
hysteria way. But I don't think it would be full blown. I think you would have a small cluster of people freaking out, and the rest of us would be like, all right.
If it was shown to us in a certain way, then yeah. But if
Yeah.
it's shown to us in a fear-mongering way, it's going to be mass hysteria.
And that's what I think. I feel
But if
like
there's no danger, then what's the mass hysteria about?
But like I said, it depends how they introduce it.
But even if they introduce it, like I said, we haven't had any.
But not everyone goes
interaction.
by logic. You're using logic.
Yeah,
Does
but a
everyone
lot of
use
people
logic?
do, though. You're like, a lot of people do.
You know where I work. They do not all use logic.
Well, in your place, it's
started-
infuriating.
we started
Yeah.
watching The Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and we didn't get to finish it. However, there
Not
was
the movie. This is a
the
documentary.
documentary. It was a
Oh.
scientist who was basically coming. He was in a white room, and he was like, and nobody knows where he
He's
is
a
because
well-known
he's
scientist.
afraid of being killed by people who know, because he knows what he knows. And he basically was just like, I have seen one. I have seen the ships. I was a scientist, and then I left being a scientist. You know, one of his friends.
Stephen Greer is the doctor.
One of his friends was also a scientist, actually killed himself because of the knowledge, and he was afraid that they were going to be killed because, you know, he was like, they're not, these extraterrestrials, these beings that are coming here are not trying to hurt us, but actually a few times during our wars had shut off our nuclear weapons where we could not use them because there was something in the air. And he was like, they're trying to tell us to stop fight. They're trying to tell us to be one. And it was so, I didn't get a chance to finish it. I really want to, but it was so, I was watching this going, I could kind of see how they would be like, no, they're going to hurt you. Because what if we did have them landing here with a spaceship and they said, hey, you want to come see how we live? And we were able to go and we had these powers that they had. We wouldn't need a government. We wouldn't need anybody because we would be like, wait a minute. Money really means nothing, or this really, like, we would really learn that we are more than what we are because they keep us down here. And the government tries to hide it from us because of the abilities and things that we would find out would get us all to go, we don't even need you up there being our president and our governors. Like, it was that much where I have to finish watching it. It's Encounters of the Fifth Kind, if anybody didn't hear me.
But is this on Netflix?
No, we found it on. You had to rent it on Prime.
Prime.
That's cool.
I got
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I'm not kidding. And I really want to finish it. So,
You can come
Oh
watch
my
it with me.
God.
I got 2 cats. It's fine.
yeah, Natalie is very good with snacks.
She is a good snack bringer.
Yeah, she is. But anyway, I am going to end it on this because it was actually a great topic. I am so glad, Madeline, that you made it because we have fucking missed you, bitch. We've missed you. And I'm glad that you and Katie hit it off this way. If you wanted to come every Tuesday, you would be welcome to be here, you know, at 9 o'clock with us. And my husband, you're gangbusters. I love you.
Of course I am. Russo'sBrand.com. Go to Russo'sBrand.com right now and subscribe. It's only $3.95 a month. You get over 14 brand new shows every single week. So go to Russo'sBrand.com right now. OpieRadio.com. We love the Opster. Go to Opie Radio, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to the Opie Radio podcast. StatementGames.com. Go to Statement Games. Place your prop bets. Sports are going on all over the place. You can win gift card, cash prizes, among other prizes. It's a great time, and it's absolutely free. And shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Nikki Nines. I did an interview with him on Saturday, so go to the Nikki Nines channel. It's the number 9 with an S, and go check out the interview
Good
I did with
times,
him.
guys.
And subscribe.
We love you, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
That was a good one.